Hey ballers, welcome back to another interview of Ballerz Story. I'm at Barry Youth Softball Field. So I have an unheard of baller. Now let's get into her interview. Hello ballers. So I have my unheard of baller.
Hi guys.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Madi.
Okay, Madi. So what did you write on this chalkboard?
I wrote my name is Madi because it is. Oh,
Yeah.
I wrote my name is Madi. I am a certified softballer, and my message is to put your faith in God and He will handle the rest.
Why is that your message?
Because I love God and I truly believe that when you put your faith in Him, that you take care of the quantity, He'll take care of the quality. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you play softball. What positions do you play?
I am a pitcher and infielder.
And where exactly are you from?
I am from Miami Beach, Florida. I'm from here.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when were you first introduced to softball?
I started playing softball when I was 6 years old, and I kind of got into it because my parents would throw us in any sport, so they stuck us all in t-ball. So after that, I played baseball for 1 year because I thought I was cool, and then it didn't go really good. So then I went into softball my next year, and then it's kind of stuck since.
Aww.
Yeah.
No, that's actually funny. So, do you remember how you felt when you first played?
Like softball?
Yeah. Or baseball too.
Well, baseball, I think when I was younger, I thought I was a tomboy. So I was like, oh, I'm going to play with the guys and everything. And then I got one hit that whole year. So then I was like, no, I'm just going to go play with the girls. But, no, I remember when I played softball, my older sisters had also played softball. So I got to play with them more. And then also meet people I went to school with. They also played softball. So it was really family oriented in a way. I knew people who I was playing with, and it was a better scene. So, yeah.
So, would you say your sisters or your older siblings encourage you to play?
Definitely, yeah. My older sister, she's 2 years older than me, so she was the first one to kind of be playing softball, and I was able to see it. So then when I decided oh, I want to play softball, she was already going through it, so I did ask her for advice and would practice with her and be like, please take me out. I want to get more revs. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. So, you started playing softball in Miami or back in Chicago?
I started in Chicago because I was born here, and then when we moved up when I was young, to start elementary school is when, oh, okay. When we moved up is when they started to put me in T-ball and all that. So then throughout my whole elementary school, I played with the same league and everything. And then when I got when I moved back down here for high school is when I started playing in Miami and everything.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Okay. And you played with Lakeshore.
Yes,
How
I did. I did.
How have they made an impact on you?
They made such a deep impact on me. Some of those girls I played with when I was 10, some of them are off to college now playing too. So it's kind of cool to see that. And then, being so young, and we're in a rec ball league, so it's not the most competitive, but we're all still striving to win. I think our state competitions, and even my freaking 14U team made it all the way to the World Series. So that was a journey in itself. And I just think that experience, young, of competition and competing really set me up for where I am today. Mm-hmm. And I think getting to look back and see some of those girls, like I said, they're playing college now. It's cool to see, I knew you when you were 12, barely throwing the ball, and now you're out in college. It's crazy.
So you made it to the World Series?
When I was 14. Yeah.
How was that?
I mean, it was a cool experience. I think, our team, because we were the first in our league to ever do it, make it to the World Series. And so it was a big deal. I remember we had a fundraise for it, and we would go to our local stores and say, hey, you want to help us out, things like that. The mayor got involved. It was fun, and it was actually in Florida, in Vero Beach is where the World Series was. So a lot of the girls, it was their first time coming to Florida, and me, it was kind of oh, I'm coming back to my home state and all that. So I just remember that it was a week trip, and then we kind of came in with the mindset of we just want to play to have fun. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think our coaches thought we would go far, but we came out, and then our first game we won, and it was such a cool experience. So that whole trip, was kind of my first, I'd say like big tournament in a way, where it's like, man, like you're at the World Series, so like there's pin trading, there's pin trading. You're meeting people from like all over the country. Like, I've met people from like Hawaii, Ohio, like everywhere, and then, we just all got to come together and represent our league, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Would you say that motivated you to keep playing? Like you could see yourself going like super far in softball?
I think it was my first experience of like, you could do this in college, like you could take it that step further. Because I remember being at that tournament, and then some of the older girls who were already about to enter high school, they were college coaches watching them. So I was like, you know, you could go to college for this, like you get it paid and everything. So I guess that kind of glimpse of seeing those girls being scouted was like, oh, maybe I can do this. I'm just as much of a good player as they are. Like, why can't I go too? So yeah, I would say, yeah, that did like set me up for, I guess, opening that doorway to taking this further than just like rec ball and all that.
Okay. So how was the transition from rec ball to high school softball?
Very different. I mean, at first, it was kind of smooth in a way of where I'm going from playing in the summer to when I came to high school, it's like, okay, well, now I want to represent like my team, like the school I go to. So, I mean, at first it wasn't easy. Like when I first joined like the scene, there were some pitchers ahead of me, and I like really worked just to make like the starting nine, because we had a lot of juniors and seniors on that team who obviously they've already been there for a while. So it was me and then my other teammate who were freshmen who were on like that team of that starting nine of like juniors and seniors. So it was like a really big deal. And I just remember like wanting to play, wanting to be like, I want to be the, that number one spot. I want coach to count on me, but I just got here. So, it's like really working for your role and trying to prove coach like, hey, like if you take me out the game, like that's the worst decision possible. Yeah. Like I wanted him to know that. So I think just that grind mentality of what I learned like in rec ball to get my starting position, like transition to high school ball.
And what were you doing behind the scenes to get to that?
To get to the starting thing? Sorry. I don't understand. Just working like every day. I think I was just so in love with softball at the time that I just couldn't see myself like not playing for a day. So like I would, whether that be like taking my little sister out and having her catch for me, or just working on my at bats, like anything I could do softball related, I kept doing that every single day. And then even like in high school is when I started to like hit the weight room. So trying to lift heavy and like all that ego lifting really like kind of got to me in a way. But I think it set me up to put me in a better position to, get stronger, get fitter, and be on that team on the field,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while developing as a pitcher, you played a few other positions. You was a first baseman, a catcher. What was the purpose of that?
So I only started pitching because my 12U team at the time needed a pitcher, so it was kind of out of necessity is when I started learning. But then come high school, I still like was pitching, but there were like a couple people ahead of me, and then I had a decent bat, so my coach to keep me in the lineup, he would say, oh, you want to try out first base, you want to do catcher, and I already had experience with those positions, so that more came out of to keep me in the game, and also I'm an infielder too, so I'm able to play those different spots. But I think going from like pitching to also catching was like kind of cool in a way. I was able to be behind the plate and contribute like that. So I think if you talk to my high school coach, we always bring that up, like, oh, you caught like a one game, and I'm like, yeah, but now like the rest I'm pitching, so it's like kind of weird. But it was a cool experience though, to be able to have that past experience, to be like an infielder and all that, to be very versatile on the field.
Yeah, two-way player.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite position?
I mean, now pitcher, because that's but I think back then it used to be first base. I was obsessed with first base. I think because I went from outfield to first, like for my first infield position before I went to pitching. I think just being at first base, I was like always involved in the play. I caught every ball, so that's kind of why I liked it, But after really dedicate more time to pitching. I've loved, being neutral in the circle and showing that each pitch is my pitch and I'm gonna strike that girl out, things like that.
Yo, you're getting ahead. You're getting ahead.
My bad.
So, what memories or lesson from your freshman year still stick with you?
So my freshman year, we went 4-12, my high school team. So we were kind of not the best, but I just remember that year it was more like, whoa, I'm sorry. You think they hit a home run or something? They didn't.
First of all, it's the other team.
Oh, wow. I don't care about them then. But, no, my freshman year, we weren't the best team, but I just think every day when we showed up, all the girls, wanted to play and they wanted to compete, and no matter the score, we were still playing till the end. We had 7 innings to play, we were going to play those 7 innings. And then our first win came off of a game where it was a lot of walks, it was high pitch count, things like that, and our starting catcher at the time, she couldn't make our game, so then I had to go catch that game. So I remember being a little nervous at first, but then also remembering that, hey, I'm a utility player, I could play wherever, and I've played catcher before, I could do it again. So I ended up catching that game, and then that was our first win from that season. It was a really good feeling. I remember our team, it was just, kind of that hard work that we've been doing all year. It finally shows up in one game, so that game always sticks with me from my freshman year. But it definitely helped going into our other years. We gradually saw our improvement over those 4 years.
So would you say your teammates, y'all are still close? Did that make y'all close even so for today?
I'd say some of them, yeah. A lot of the girls I went into that team freshman year, they stuck all the way to senior year. So I had 4 years with them. We'd see each other in the halls, and we were classmates, teammates, friends. So definitely having that connection off the field lingered into our play and how we performed on the field too.
Okay. So now we're in your sophomore season, and you were becoming the pitcher or developing into the pitcher for the team?
Yeah, I would say.
And how was that for you?
It was still a competing mindset because we had a senior at the time who she had already been here for 4 years, and our coach kind of had more trust in her in a way. So I still was working every day because it's I want to be that starting pitcher. I want to show that I can pitch too, and not in a oh, I'm better than her mentality, but more of I can get the job done, kind of like that. So it went from me being a 3rd string pitcher to finally 2nd string my sophomore year. Just if our senior pitcher ever got in a jam, he would put me in. So I think it was more of just making those opportunities count to eventually land the role of that starting pitcher, or being in that circle when the time comes.
So what were your goals for that season besides becoming the pitcher?
Well, our team goal that year was to make it to districts, because the previous year we had lost out our first round, but our sophomore year was win more games, have a better record, but then also try to make it to playoffs. So still taking that momentum of our 4 wins from our freshman year to building on that for the next season of still competing against kind of the same girls, facing some new schools, but putting up a better record to make it to the postseason, to have a shot at, going pretty far. And it was our seniors last year. So those starting 7 out there I was talking about, they all wanted it too, because they had never made it that far before. So trying to do it for them in a way.
Okay, so what were your personal goals?
My personal goals, I think it was to hit better, because my freshman year I didn't hit that good, but it was more about making solid contact, trying to not fatten my stats, but more of how can I contribute to the team better, things like that. And then also at the same time I was still trying to find my route for college, how does that look like, and guess more or less seeing what my college opportunities were and trying to make the most of it on the field.
Okay, so you started thinking about college young.
Yeah, you have to. It's such a competitive world, man.
I didn't, but okay. So what would you say you learned most about yourself that season?
I think my sophomore year, I would say it was just more of hard work is going to pay off eventually, but it doesn't guarantee you nothing. I was working out day and night for that pitching job, but at the end of the day, he was always going to put in that senior. So it was things like that of I could still work behind closed doors. No one has to see that. But when the time comes, like, I know my work will show in itself, you know, building that confidence when no one's looking type of thing.
I get that. So your junior year, I feel like it all panned out. It worked perfectly fine. You became the captain.
Yes.
You had over 100 plus strikeouts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that, like being nominated captain for your junior year?
I mean, it felt great. Like, you know, every year we had our captain votes of he would ask, you know, the team, like, who do you guys want? It was like that. And then I just remember he called me to the office and he was just like, hey, next year I want you to know, like, you're going to have that captain position. And then I was just like, man, like, you know, I've been waiting for this. Like, I really wanted to just do that job the best I could. And it doesn't even have to be that I'm the best player out there, but just can I lead by example? Can I help lead that team to something great, you know? Because at the end of the day, I think we all wanted to just compete. We all wanted to win. But more importantly, we just wanted to see everyone's, like, growth and everyone to get better. So I think, earning that captain spot was definitely, like, a huge, like, important thing to me. And I think it showed, it was like a representation of all, like, the hard work I had been putting in and everything I had faced leading up to that. So that season was really, really cool.
It was. So you had over 100 plus strikeouts.
Yes.
You remember that?
I remember hitting the 100 plus mark and thinking, like, wow, like, that's a lot. But, you know, I just think it goes back to, like, that hard work thing of just always competing, always striving to get better. And then also, like, with my pitching, at that point I had been pitching for only 4 years. So it was just, you know, hey, if I could do this in 4 years, like, what can I look like in 10 years? So,
right?
Yeah.
So 100 plus strikeouts. If I got striked out, I would be tight. Because I watch baseball and softball here, and I'm just like, there's no way. Like, I would be so mad if I get striked out. So what goes on through your head while you're in the circle?
I think, my junior year, I think, is when kind of my dad was telling me, like, you need to be a strikeout artist. You need to, you know, get these girls out every time. That kind of mentality. So you could say, like, a dog mentality in a way, but I think just being in that circle and knowing that I can control the next pitch. And then our junior is actually when our pitching coach, she actually came to the picture, Coach Jules, and she had pitched for the Coast Guard. So she kind of helped me with, like, pitch calling and knowing, like, what pitches to select, kind of like pitching IQ in a way was also my first introduction to that. So I think with her in the dugout, you know, calling pitches for me, so where I didn't have to think that much and I just had to, you know, execute my pitch, definitely helped me achieve, like, you know, those 100 plus strikeouts or whatever I had. But just helped me, like, work from Coach Jules and also work from, you know, just showing up every day and just pitching on my own. It was, like, all kind of, like, stringing together, which was also fun to see. And then also, you know, for my teammates, it's always good to help them, you know, get a quick out and all that. But yeah.
And you were the starting pitcher too. You got that starting spot.
Yes, I got that starting spot.
So I was pitching because I wanted to learn, like, see how, because I know baseball is overhand and here is under.
Yes.
My arms were sore. I pitched on both sides.
You did both arms?
Yes. I wanted to know, like, the difference because softball pitchers could pitch almost every day.
Yeah.
Baseball pitchers can't.
No.
So I wanted to, like, see why, and I did.
And he did.
Yeah. So, like, your pitching IQ, like, what are the different pitches? Not trying to, like, get your secrets, but, like just educate me and, like, them.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's different pitches you can throw, but, like, you know, fastball, changeup, screwball, fastball, just any, like, spin you could put on the ball is always great. And then, you know, like, for example, like a curve, like with the arm, you're saying, like, you try to do it and it hurt. A curve, you kind of want to, like, you know, come in, like, tuck your elbow in and then come across. Doing that so many times could maybe strain your arm or something. But I think the more repetition and practice you get, like, you could eventually get it. So I think a couple more, you know, practices, you might be pitching a few.
We're going to see. Speaking of your junior season still.
Oh.
You accumulated the highest batting average. Do you remember the average?
607.
Yep.
That's my birthday.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay, Gemini?
Yeah.
I'm a Cancer, a June Cancer though.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So, what went into you getting the highest batting average?
I think it went back to just that freshman year of when I wasn't hitting that great. I think my freshman year I had like a 161, and I wasn't like that power hitter. But then junior year, kind of, just things just started falling in place. I think, hitting the weights for now 2 years. Oh, you good?
Yes.
Hitting the weights for like 2 years now, and then, going out, getting that extra work in, and then I had also had like some travel experience behind my belt and playing with Marlins RBI. Like, those summer teams I think also helped me, end up hitting what I did my junior year. And then I just remember like also like, being that captain spot, I wanted to lead by example. I wanted to show my girls like, hey, I could do this, you can do this too. So being able to bring in runs and hit gaps, and it doesn't even have to be a home run, but showing like, I can hit off these girls, like so can you guys, was also like really important to me. And at the end of the day, like the stats will fall in place, but I think for it to end of 607, like that being my birthday, I just think is like, God works in mysterious ways. I just remember like my dad was like, you hit your birthday, right? I was like, no way. And it was like pretty cool. But yeah.
Okay. So you just had a great junior season, became the captain, starting pitcher, had the highest batting average. How was it going into your final season of high school?
I think for me it was just because I had still been uncommitted at that point, and I knew it was something I wanted to do in college. So I think I kind of went in with like I need to like do good to like show these coaches like, I'm college worthy, that type of thing. But also at the same time, the previous year we had lost out on going to district finals. So I remember our team goal that year was to make it back to that district finals and, try to win that district championship. But we came off a pretty good, decent season my junior year. So, we also had a lot of our girls returning too. So being able to go into that senior year with that same team and all of us having our now 3 years of experience of, we started off with a losing record to now, hey, we're in a good spot to try to make that playoff route. We all just wanted to just compete and try to go as far as we can. And then, my personal ambitions will fall the way they fall. But I think just focusing on our team and focusing on, hey, we all want to compete and we all want to win and we all want to just strive to get better every day, help push us to where we ended up our senior year. So, yeah.
So did the start of the school year go as planned for you?
My senior year?
Yes.
I'd say not initially, because I think in my head, my timeline was, I need to be committed, and signing day for softball is like November 1st. So I remember like November 1st rolled around and I'm like, I'm not committed. Like, not that I didn't think I was going to college, but I just thought, it's going to be a tougher process than I thought. Yeah. And I think in the beginning I was kind of focused on that, then, focus on my team ambitions. So I think once I was able to just put that aside and just be like, hey, like, just leave it up to God, and just I know He's going to handle it, and all I could do is just work on my craft and help out my team, what's in front of us. At the time we had like conditioning and then, training for eventually our preseason. I think just really just putting my attention to our team first and not what I want, what our team wants. And then, being there for my teammates and also trying to graduate senior year. So handling those things were my priorities, obviously.
Okay. So putting the team before yourself is very selfless. Like, not selfish?
Selfless?
Selfless.
Yes.
But yeah, like, I respect that. I don't think I'm mature enough to personally do that myself, but that says a lot about you, girl.
Thanks.
So, it wasn't really going how you planned, but how were you preparing for the season, your final high school season?
I really just wanted to get back in that district final spot. I mean, because we had come up short the previous season, but I think with our experience for my sophomore season of making it to district finals, it was like the girls and all of us were, hey, we could be in that position again. And so our senior year just really honing in on that and knowing, we have a solid team, we can all hit, we can all contribute, sticking together as one unit and trying not to, let bickering or let, high school stuff get in the way, but just being all family, being one team, and going out there and just competing for each other really helped us move in that season.
So how would you describe your team that season, like your teammates?
I mean, I still love all those girls from that season. I think it was like pretty special. A lot of family, a lot of, bittersweet moments because a lot of the girls I was graduating with I had known since freshman year. So it was just really playing for them. And a lot of them, touched me in a different way in my life. So I think being exposed to them and meeting them, it's like I said, God works in mysterious ways. And I think just him putting me in that position, being on that team, being with those girls, definitely it's something to remember, going forward.
And how special is that to you?
Very special, A lot of those girls, like I told you, I've known since like freshman year, and even now, like some of them stood local, so I see them from time to time, and even keep up with what they're doing. But they all, I was the only one from my team to go to college for softball, but they were all like really supportive of me, and they truly saw me, knowing that I could make it one day, to college. So just that support and that that belief in me definitely helped push me, every day by them.
Oh, that's so sweet. So now it's season time. We got the home opener, and you delivered your first strikeout.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
I just remember because our home opener was actually on a different field. We were playing at like our local middle school because our main field was like under construction and all that. But we had played on like a different field, and I know a lot of the girls, like, we felt some type of way because it was our senior year. We wanted to play on like our field we played on the last 3 years. But I think that home opener, just being able to play and kind of play on a stage where those younger kids, those middle schoolers, could see, like, a lot of the girls be like, hey, like, these girls are playing softball in high school, like maybe that's something they'd want to do too. I think be able to represent softball in our high school on a different field was cool in its way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just that home opener, I think also helped get out like first game jitters, trying to get that home opener win. But it was a cool game because it was like also our first game on that middle school field. So.
And how did that feel like getting the strikeout?
Getting the strikeout
for the first season, yeah.
I think I was just like, let's go. We have new season, new time to shine, new records to break or whatever my mindset was. But I think I wasn't focused on the strikeout. I was just wanting to, one pitch at a time, just execute and do what I could do then.
Okay. Do you remember your slugging percentage your senior year?
My senior year?
Yeah.
I want to say it was high. I don't.
Like what?
1.107, right?
1.77.
1.77? 1.177?
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty high.
So what does that stat mean to you?
I think it just represents like my hitting over time. I think being able to slug that high in itself is an accomplishment in its own, but also just knowing that I can compete and I can, ball out the way I want to on the field. I think just, like all the stats speak for themselves, and I think not stat chasing, but trying to piece together like different hits, different wins in a way, help eventually lead to whatever the stat was and all that, Yeah.
So what were you really trying to chase during that season?
I think that season I was really more focused on like my strikeouts. Like I was so close to hitting 500 like the end of my senior year. Or no, not 500, 400. And I remember like that's the number I wanted to hit because I was like so close. But I just remember some games when I would go in and be like, okay, like I need to stack up all these strikeouts to reach the 400 mark or whatever, is when I would, tense up and not pitch the way I want to pitch. But I think the moment I was able to let go and just, pitch the way I normally do, just one pitch at a time and work the batter the best I can, is when those strikeouts started to accumulate. So, yeah. had to think for a second.
Yeah. So by this time, you weren't committed still?
Still wasn't committed. Nope.
So how was the college process?
Like, while we're doing season and all that, I'm still trying to reach out to schools. I'm sending them like my high school clips every day. I, going on visits and things like that. Just, looking back on it now, it was like a lot I was doing, but I think at the time in my head, I was able to make the time for it and be able to still have my priority being like, my high school team, and then also trying to set that time for, hey, like, this is my future, this is my college, I gotta know where I'm going, things like that. Just being able to like separate the two, I think was really good in its way back then, like looking back on it now.
Okay. So how did you end up at Barry? Or did you have other schools you wanted to go to, other schools reached out? How was that?
I mean, Barry, I think, just fell in its place the way it did, which I'm very grateful for. I mean, like, my dad was very old school, and he's like, you need to go, like, leave a letter. You need to show, like, hey, these are my stats. This is who I am. He goes, if a good team wants you, like, they'll reach out. And I just remember thinking, like, that's not the traditional way. The traditional way is, go to showcases, go to camps, and coaches will talk to you and all that. But, we didn't have the money back then for all that. So looking back on it, like, the way we did it, like, he drove me all across Florida. We went to, like, Lynn, Nova. We went to freaking as far as Charlotte, to leaving, like, these, like, letters and all that. But, I just went to Coach Cotter's office and, like, left my letter. And it was just like, hey, my name's Maricela. I go to Miami Beach, At the time, I was just like, is he even going to read this? Like, do coaches even do it? Because I think up to that point, I had, like, 15 rejections from, like, other colleges. Like no reach back. But even prior to leaving the thing, I had been emailing Coach Cotter. I had been showing, like, all my tapes. Like, I think if you look back at our emails, it was, like, 10-plus messages of all my games. I don't even know if he's read them or not. But I think having that communication before and then also, like, leaving that letter, he definitely, gave me a huge chance, and he read the letter and he looked into who I was and, got in contact. And then once I found out more about Barry, and then even like with what I want to study, their sports psych program's amazing. So, it was just, I feel like my way of seeing God, align the things the way he does. And even my dad being like, hey, you can stay close to home and things like that. So, just Barry was the option for me.
And it's working out good. You commute here, you're able to practice, go to class.
Yes, very, very close with family too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how has your first year at Barry been so far?
It's been great. I really love it here. I think being able to study like what I want to study, like sports psych, it being so unpopular, I really thought I was just gonna do like a psych route. But then when Barry's like, oh hey, like we have this cool sports psych program, and I got to meet like all the professors and everything. Definitely been so cool in itself. And then meeting different people like you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, meeting different people, aside from softball, I think helped make my first fall semester, because I'm in my spring.
Yeah.
But my first fall semester, definitely family-oriented, welcoming, and really just a lot of resources Barry provides is really cool in itself.
Okay. So how was the transition from being the pitcher, playing an important role in your high school team, to coming to Barry and being on a development team?
I mean, I think I kind of took like what I went over my 4 years of, trying to work for that first spot, trying to crack that starting nine. Mm-hmm. I got a chance to play over here on the developmental team. I just remember my fall being like kind of so hard on myself of, hey, if I don't prove to coach like I could play on varsity, then like it's doesn't matter, or things like that. But it definitely helped push me to, work harder, ask for more reps, ask for more help, learn different things I hadn't known before. But then slowly, like once I started to kind of let go of that like do or die mentality and just, play the way I play, and all I'm looking for is to just get 1% better every day, has helped, make my softball experience better. And I even think in my outings and my opportunities I get to play in, I'm able to play more freely and more happy. I'm like smiling. I'm not so like, hard on myself. I think just taking that pressure away and just knowing that, hey, I worked at high school for 4 years, I could do that here too.
Course, yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight, but just trusting the process and trusting that my hard work will pay off, helps, keep me going, things like that.
It is, and it's gonna show tomorrow too.
Yes, it
During
is.
Okay, so what are the major differences you've seen since you've been here? Whether it's like the team culture, how the workouts are, how the coaches, like, how is it different to high school softball?
Our team culture here is amazing. I mean, it really is family. Like when we say our team mantra is like team together. Mm-hmm. Truly, everything we do is together, and I think letting that linger onto the field of being able to look around every girl and saying like, hey, like I got this ball for you, I have your bag, you have mine. I think just instills so much trust in each other, and also that love and that support, and being able like to just play for one another, not for yourself, to be able to be selfless. Whereas like in high school, I told you like not everyone wanted to go to college. It was kind of like more of a fun thing to do. Whereas like I'm like the serious one. It's like we got to get on this and all that. But everyone here wants it, and everyone wants to play, and everyone, maybe they're not playing, but they're cheering in the dugout. They're supporting the pitchers. They're supporting the catchers. Like everyone has a role on the team, and I don't think anyone's concerned about how much playing time they get, but about, hey, what can I do to help our team win today? Things like that. The workouts are rough. Coach Lowe definitely puts us through the ringer, but she does make us stronger. And I just remember, like, my first day of lift, I remember just being in there like, wow, like I used to dream of this, of doing like college lifts. And I walk out feeling dead. And it's like, well, this is what I asked for, so
Yep.
But yeah, and then our coaches just, I think all the hard work they put in day out, and being able to build up the program to what it is now speaks for itself. And Coach Cotter, Coach Holly, work hand in hand. And then we got Coach Jack, our pitching coach, coming onto the scene, which has been a huge help. So I think all three of them, and even Coach Bimo and Coach Ariel, everyone works with each other, and they all know what they're doing. And I'd say they're pretty talented. I mean, look at where we are. So yeah, they definitely shaped what Brave softball is today in a very, very good way.
So, what do you want to accomplish by the end of the season for Madi?
Oh, I want to be able to know that my process is paying off, and that I'm not concerned about my stats. I'm not concerned about the wins, the losses. I'm just concerned about growing and learning. And I think being able to, just keep softball simple and just bring back that joy, that fun of just hitting a yellow ball and catching a yellow ball, just keeping it simple, and just being able to look back from my fall and just know like, hey, this is my growth. This is how much I've learned. And then even, taking that into the summer with the off season. So just wanting to make sure that I'm getting 1% better every day, I think is my goal for this remainder of the season.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like, okay, what does that mean?
No, like, I get that. And I remember, like, hooping, I was thinking the same thing, because I wasn't starting. Sometimes I didn't even touch the floor at all, and I just wanted to grow. Like, I'll go hard in practice, even outside of practice.
Yeah.
And it never really panned out how I wanted it to, but I know at the end of the day, I still have something to prove, or like to show when I do get the chance, and like it'll come whenever. But for you, I'll definitely say your chance is coming really soon, and you have 3 more years, or 4 or 3 3 more years to go. So I know it will work out perfectly fine for you. And I'll be here for some of it because I'm graduating soon, but I'll see it.
Yes, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. She has a game tomorrow.
Tomorrow, be there. Well, by the time it's coming out,
I know, it's gonna be over. But you have another one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to win, guys. Don't worry.
So thank you so much for joining me with Ballerz Story.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
This was so cool.
Thank you. Yeah. It was long overdue. I've been trying to get her on here.
But yeah, here we are. Finally done.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really can't wait to see all your greatness and learning your story. I feel like history is going to repeat itself. Know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
No, you're too funny. You're too funny. All right, let's say bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Madi's story. I hope you guys learned a lot about her, because I definitely did. So yes, her message is Put your faith in God, and He will handle the rest. And I feel like she just shows that every day. And history repeats itself, so I can't wait to see what she has in store.
Support Barry softball, guys, and Treasure. Treasure's amazing.
Thank you.
Yay!
So if you want to hear more stories, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And if you want your story to be shared, please fill out the Google form. Oh my God, did I just start it?
No, who cares? Go.
Fill out the Google form. Thank you, ballers. I'll see you in the next interview.